Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? We are live. Well, Brandon here, one half of the Harmonious Duo, and I want to say thank you first and foremost for coming up today and taking 30 minutes out of your day to learn how to tell a compelling story. And really, why is it important in our business for us to even know this? Now, yesterday you got specifically, or you got only, I should say, Sarah. I was out, I was unavailable, doing my own thing, helping the business, and Sarah was able to teach you some few things that I hope were pretty valuable. I wasn't able to be here, of course, but I'm hopefully going today be able to do just that as well and give you some valuable information that's going to help you build your business. Now, me personally, about 18, 19 months ago, for those of you who aren't aware of my story, I became involved in an opportunity that allowed me to really dig deep into my passion and figure out what it is that I want to do with my life and how can I really contribute to my family without being apart from my family. And when I got involved with this, it just blew my mind that it was actually real, number one. And number two, it blew my mind that I didn't know about this earlier. So what I ended up doing is, or what we ended up doing with me and Sarah is we took it really serious. And we decided to go ahead and, as those of you who have noticed, for the past few weeks, we've been on here Monday through Saturday, 6 days a week at 3 p.m. to be able to bring you guys valuable information that's going to help you guys build your business. Brand yourself and, grow your teams, whatever kind of business that you're in. So that's the main reason why we're here. And we hope that everybody that's on here right now is going to be able to take this information and run with it, because these are things that we had as roadblocks, as obstacles in our first beginning stages of business that, caused us from, prevented us from making more money. So anybody right now who's struggling in their online business, okay, it's normal. Okay, it's normal. I don't care if you've been in the business for 5, 10 years. I've talked to people who've been in the business for about 15 years that still aren't seeing the results they want to see. And a lot of that stems from what we're going to learn today. So before I got into this industry, I was a restaurant server. I was a waiter, I guess you could say. And I don't really know I don't know which one's PC, you know what I mean? It's server, waiter, whatever. But they're both the same thing, okay? So I was out there in the restaurant industry for about 10 years, 11 years. And that was before I found there was a small transition between us. So I was in there for about 11 years. Then I ended up meeting my fiance, Sarah, who you got to speak with yesterday. And well, things just kind of shifted. I ended up taking a leap of faith, okay? Well, I was in a bad situation, living at home with my mother at the time when I had met her. So she moved in with me. We fell madly in love. And I ended up going and jumping off the cliff, basically saying I'm going to be a professional poker player. And that's what I wanted to do full time. It was a hobby that I had picked up. It's a hobby that I picked up a little bit a while ago, about 3 years prior, that I was doing just at like home games and stuff like that. Well, I was feeling pretty confident in my skills, so I decided to just jump right in. Well, I did really well with that for the first few years. Well, in doing so and living that lifestyle, I went ahead and we got pregnant. Okay, so when she got pregnant, she told me the good news. I ended up going back to the casino, and it just ruined my game. I didn't know where to begin or where to end. My whole focus seemed to be at home. I didn't really know where to go. I didn't know what to do. My whole routine, my strategy, my habits, everything kind of got whirled upside down because now I had a pregnant lady at home. I had a woman that I loved at home who was going to, give birth to my first child. And I was at, the poker tables, you know what I mean? Like that killed me. I thought that was the greatest thing to be involved with prior to. And I'm not knocking anybody who's in poker right now doing that, because I still actually help people who are in poker to leverage income and things like that, doing this exact same thing. So it was just a passion of mine to be a part of. So I did that for about 4 years. 2 of those years, we were pregnant. Okay. Or one of those years she was pregnant. And for the last 3 years or 2 years she was in there, I was doing really well. Okay. So for 4 years I played this. 2 years I did really well. 1 year she was pregnant. 1 year I did extremely bad. That last year is what led me to believe that I couldn't do this for ever. I just couldn't. I didn't have what it took, I guess. Even though I know I did. If I wanted to put my family through a struggle, then I could have really attempted this. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't have backed me, because they would have. They would have been there with me 100%. But it would have took time away from what I was trying to build, which was a solid family. Income comes second, family comes first. And so with me, I decided that I needed to be able to make that income while I was with my family. So what we did is I opened up my mind and listened to a buddy of mine who actually who presented to me with this opportunity about 7 months after of him nagging me, beating me down with this, you know what I mean? Because I just kept saying, no, I don't understand it. No, I don't get it. No, I'm not into it. No, I got my own way of doing things. And coming up with a million excuses why I didn't want to hear his thing. And then finally he showed me what he had been able to do in his online business in about a week's span. And it got me to listen. It got me to really open my eyes and my ears. And so when I listened to him, I brought the news into my fiance, who's Sarah, and we ended up talking about it. She made the decision because, you know, that's what women do. They make the decision. And so we decided to move forward with this. And now I'm in front of you today sharing with you great things that are helping our business succeed online. We've actually, just to share some personal results, we've actually been able to get people signed up into our business and purchase and make an income in our sleep. Okay, now we've been able to actually do that in a way that honestly we couldn't tell you. Like when somebody asks you, how does a watch work? You kind of just go, well, I know what time it is, but I don't know what makes the gadgets and the gizmos work. Okay, well, that's how we feel with a lot of what we do. We know that we got to follow a certain system. We have to do a certain way of doing things and connect with certain people. But after you do that, it kind of just works on its own. People, you know, out there scream and promote about automation in their business, and it's true. You can actually have it. We're living proof of it, and some of that is going to come with what we teach you today. So get into the nitty and gritty. We are going to share with you a little bit about how to tell a compelling story. Now, to be quite honest, I'm not sure how many people have heard this, but I heard this maybe only about right when we got into the business. Actually, it was saying that from somebody who was knowing what they were talking about, saying that, listen, Brandon, you keep talking about basically you keep talking about what the thing is, but you're not talking about what it does. You keep telling people the facts about these things. You know, keep telling them, for instance, if you're trying to recruit somebody into your business, right? And you tell them that, oh, well, our company has 100,000 recruits. We are fourth largest in this. We have this much money coming in. We have this much money going out. We're paying this. We're doing this. Those are facts. Okay. Those facts that people keep telling other people, they're not selling other people. And that's why they're saying facts tell, stories sell is so relevant. And it's been relevant since basically the industry's been brought to life. So when anybody's asked you what it is that you do or what you sell, you never want to tell them the facts. You kind of want to tell them the benefits. Okay. So as you can imagine, features are kind of like facts. Okay. Because they tell them about what the thing is about. Okay. And the benefits are more about what they could do for them. And that's what people are really interested in, is what it could do for them. And that's what creating a good story does. It allows your audience and the people who are interested in what you have to sell to relate to you in a way that not many people are using, because they're constantly pushing facts down these people's throats. And so they just keep getting bombarded with everything that they already know. And that's the last thing that somebody who is new into the industry or is looking for somebody or is looking to become new, you know, somebody who's looking for that new change, somebody who doesn't like their job and looking for that new information. They don't want to be badgered with facts. You know what I mean? With your product, if you have lotion, you don't want to tell people, hey, it soothes the skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fact. Okay, yeah, we get that. But what does it do for them? Okay, well, why soothing your skin? It can give you aromatic pleasures that, you know, calm all your nerves. And, you know, those are benefits. Okay, now the fact is that it will moisten your skin. Okay, now if you are you can apply this in any other thing. Okay, and that's the whole thing, is you do not want to be caught telling facts to people when you could be sharing a story that could actually illustrate a point that could get them to relate to you in a way that's going to persuade them to buy, purchase, or move forward with whatever is opportunity that you're trying to, you know, put in front of them. So the first thing is that you have to do is craft your story. Now, how do we craft a story? Okay, well, first things first, we have to start writing things down. Now, where do we begin in this? Okay, well, the first thing, the best place to begin is where your journey started. Okay, now this journey is basically, when did you have your revelation? When did you have that moment in time where you said, the way that I'm living isn't good enough anymore. I'm going to become better. I'm going to do whatever it takes to become better. And then I'm going to share that journey with the world, because I know I'm going to inspire others to basically to get to their higher self and to reach their full potential. Okay, when was that moment in your time or in your life? Because that's where your journey begins, and that's where you want to start. You can start before that if you want, but a lot of people before that, they don't have great things that they want to share, and we can get into that a little bit later into this hangout. But right now, start where your revelation was. Where was that moment in time where you had that revelation? And then you begin from that moment. Okay, so you move on to, you know, you can add so many things. I'm not going to get into too many details, because I'm gonna offer you guys something at the end of this that's going to give you exactly what you guys need. Okay, because what we went through this last weekend was a 3-day seminar, 3-day event, okay, of how to create a compelling story. And this event took place from from two people who are big in the industry, who are doing great things and are making a movement. Basically, the people who are involved in our industry right now, they're so caught up with, like we said, the facts. They're so caught up with telling people what to do instead of showing them who they are and why they need to join their opportunity. So, or why they need to buy their product. And by being a part of this group, we were able to gather some information that not a lot of people have their hands on right now. And so I don't want to give you all the goods. Actually, I'm not even allowed to give you all the goods. Okay, that's the best part about this. I'm actually prevented. Okay, I'm not allowed to give you all the goods. So the stuff that I'm giving you today are the nits and bits and pieces of things that are going to allow you to see the big picture on why it's important to learn every component of telling a compelling story. Okay, now when you craft your story, you're going to have, your introduction, which is where you began. You're going to have a nice body. You're going to have a closing. You're going to have all these things that a nice story has, but you're going to be able to piece them in a way that creates a psychological reaction that are going to get people to follow exactly what you say and do what you say. Because that's the big part. People can read down to the bottom, but are they going to do what you're asking them to do? Everybody should have a call to action at the bottom of their, whatever it is their ad is, or whatever it is their email, whatever it is that you're putting out to people, you should have a call to action. So when your audience gets down to that bottom of your content, are they following through? If not, I would bet a heavy amount that a large portion of that, of those people who aren't clicking through, it's because they can't relate to who you are. And if they can relate to who you are, or if they do relate to, or if they see, if you're like, what, Brandon, I am telling my story, it's probably not being told in a compelling way. It's probably not being told in a way that is getting them to be persuaded to be a part of your service or of your opportunity. And that's just by me speaking from experience, because me and Sarah actually started off not knowing how to tell our story. We were very amateurish. We were very new to the whole telling our story. We didn't understand the value in it. We didn't see, okay, well, you know what, we could actually help people. Okay, we give them kind of, this is true. When you end up telling your story, you end up giving people permission to tell their own story. Okay, so if you have a very powerful story, understand there's people right now that are just as afraid to tell it as you are. Because like I said, when I got into the business, I was asking myself, why is it important for me to tell my story? What can I find that's valuable in my story that can get other people inspired and motivated to actually move forward and taking action? I didn't see any of that. That was only until I got around a group of people who I saw that were taking their story and putting it into form, into context that can actually do that. And they're taking parts of their story and relating it to different people. And they're taking different parts of their life and they're relating to different people. And so what you get to do when you learn the formula of how to tell a story, it's crazy how you can take everything that you've been everything you've experienced in life and everything you're going to experience and learn how to contextualize it and put it into form so that people will actually do what you want. Now, I'm not saying to create a world of robots that just listen and follow direction. You know what I mean? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that anybody who's in business, anybody who's in sales, understands that we have to get people to see the benefit, to see the big picture. And a lot of people can't see that big picture through facts. They have to see it through stories. So when you get good at telling your story, it allows them to open up their mind in a way that they were never aware of. So some people right now have been telling you, no, I don't want to join your company. No, I don't want to join your opportunity. No, I don't want to buy your product. And then you'll go through this product. You personally will end up learning how to relate to these people in a way that you've never related to them before. Because not only does it get you to tell a compelling story and break down the formula step by step, but it allows you it gives you the opportunity to learn how people operate and how people view you. Okay, and this is proven stuff, scientific stuff that has been like millions of dollars and years of research have been put behind this. And it allows you to really dig into who it is that you are, okay, how you operate, what value set you work from, and why is it important for you to understand how other people view you. And how it is that you could relate to them because you see now how they view others. So these are big, big breakthroughs for anybody who not only is new to this business, but has been in this business for a long time and just not seeing the results they want. You're probably talking to the wrong audience and you're probably using the wrong story format. As crazy as it sounds, it could be that simple, and that could be the one thing that's holding you back from that next level. Okay, so to move on, you're gonna have to find inspiration for your story. Now, who is it that inspires you? Because those parts of your story are gonna be led by those people who inspire you. If you're inspired by a bunch of people who are depressed, miserable people, which is hard to be, but some people, they look at those and they think that, oh, I have to go into, I just gotta be into this kind of mood, and that's a sense of inspiration. It's a downward spiral of inspiration. Okay, so who is going to inspire you? Who's going to get you to think big? Who's going to get you to look at your life and what you've been through and go, dang, okay, well, he's been through this and he now is doing this, and he says when he looks back at his life, this is how he looks at it. Because when we look back at our past, we cannot look at it like it's a damning past. We can't look at it like it's something that's going to harm our future. If we do, then your experiences are going to come out just like that to your audience. And that's not going to be persuasive information. You're not going to get people to do what you want them to do if you're not talking in a positive light. Now, you can shine on the struggle. You could go ahead and say, you know what, I've been through this. This is actually a big part of the story, is being able to say, I can relate where you've been. I can relate to you. I've been there. Now I've done that to get here, and I'm doing this to get where I need to go. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big story right there. A lot of people aren't listening to the Tony Robbins. They're not listening to the Joel Osteens. They're not listening to those people because they can't relate to them. They don't think that those people have been through what they've been through. Okay, so you have been through some things that other people have been through and are really waiting for you to take action on so that they can feel comfortable talking about it themselves, right? Okay, so refining it. So after you end up crafting your story and writing it down, right? You're crafting it in your mind. You're thinking in your head, okay, where do I begin? Where was my revelation? Where did it start? I'm going to write that down. I'm going to use inspiration from others to hone in on my story and to view it in a positive light. And then I'm going to refine it. Okay, so refining it means that typically I've seen people, and we've heard people having stories that are 20, 25 pages long, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You could use those for like autobiographies and things like that in the future that you could actually sell on Amazon or something like that. So doing this right now is really big for you, not just for this opportunity, but for you in the future. If you wanted to use your story to maybe give to your children, to maybe give to, people on your team or in your business to get to know you a little bit better. There's certain things that you could use this for as well, but we don't need it to be 25 pages. Okay. So don't get worried about if you heard me, you heard the story. Oh, well, I'm going to have to write from the day that I began. I had my revelation when I was 10 years old, Brandon. I knew for a fact that when I was 10 years old, I knew I was going to be out doing these things and I wanted something better and that's going to probably take you a while, but we don't need everything that happened up until then. Okay. All we're looking for is how do I say this without getting in trouble? Okay, so we're going to be looking for about 5 or 6 main points. Okay, now in those points, you're going to be able to, maybe it's more about 8 points. Okay, so you're going to be able to go into deep, to like basically when you get the product and you end up going through it, you're going to see exactly how easy it is to refine your story. But what you're going to do, you want to keep it to about 13 pages, I guess, about 10 to 13 pages. Okay, and under 10 would be great. Under 10 would be great, because what we're doing at the end of this is we're going to end up creating something that's going to bring you a ton of leads, for your business, a ton of hopefully money if you have good with conversions. Okay. But it's going to bring you in a ton of leads. Okay. By doing just this one thing. And it's going to come in with qualified leads who actually want to work with you because they've heard your story. They know what you're a part of. They could feel your passion in what you do, and they know that you're there for them. Hopefully, hopefully you put that in there. Hopefully that's really what you're about. But that's what we're going to do. So mind you that there's a plan behind this. You're not just going to create a story so that you can learn how to tell stories. No, you're learning how to create a story so that you can learn how to market better. Your product right now, your service right now is probably not doing as well as it could be. And the reason why I know that is because ours wasn't either until we got our hands on how to tell a story. Once we became aware of who we were talking to and how to tell our story, it really has changed the way that we do business. And the leads that we get now are more qualified than ever before. So if you're in business, that's a big deal. If you're in business for yourself, that's a big deal. And so after you refine it, like I said, you get it down to about 9 or 10 pages, you're going to get it touching on certain key points that you're going to learn about in the product. And those right there, that formula is going to be what separates your story from telling everybody about the facts. Now, telling only what you want, that is a huge part that I want to stress to you folks that are going to be doing this and taking part in this, is do not get into the details about things that you're not ready to talk about. If there are experiences that you aren't comfortable with, don't mention them. You are in control here. You get to pick and choose what parts of your story that you get to tell, how you want to tell it, how you want to highlight it, how you want to downplay it. These are your choices. And the best part that we found is that it becomes more easier once you start telling it more. Like I said, we didn't even realize that it was I don't think I've said, but in our previous Hangouts, we said that, me and Sarah said that we did not realize that our struggles were really with our serving. We thought that we were having a great time serving and, working and making the money that we were making and meeting the people that we were making. We thought that we were having a great time. Well, I hate to break it to you folks, but when you get out of that industry and you start making money from home while you're doing what you love, you start to look back at that and you go, damn, that kind of were some struggles. We would go into work and we would only make $5. We'd go into work sometimes and we would owe money. That is a struggle, ladies and gentlemen. That is something that, a lot of people can relate with. That's something that, not only that, but that's something that a lot of people go through, because a lot of people go and they go through serving kind of jobs, tip and commission kind of jobs, where you end up going to work and you make no money. Now, mind you, I went from serving to poker playing. So I would go from where I would make, $5 to where I could end up losing thousands. Okay. So it's been able to build. I'm a different kind of breed when it comes to how I think of money. I don't really view of money as a real thing. Okay. So it's almost just like a tool, that you have to use to better your situation, to better your lifestyle, to help others, things like that. That's what money's there for. It's not to hold on to. It's not to, covet and to think like, oh, this is all mine. Oh, I'm going to get to keep it. It's there for other people. And so when you get to be in a spot where you tell your story and you're like, okay, well, I'm only going to be sharing what I want. You're helping so many people break through to say, I could do that same thing. And I know for a fact that would help people, because there's a lot of people who know and believe that it's going to help them, but they just don't have the courage to yet. They need someone else to step out into the light and be that light for them. It's exactly that. So this is the next part. This is big right now, because people are wondering, okay, well, I've crafted my story. I've done all the points. I've gone through the product. Now, what do I do? What's the point of me creating the story, Brandon? Get to the goods, right? Well, what we encourage you to do, and what we've been encouraged and what we're doing, okay, and what's working so great for us is we've been able to create our stories, take free, and turn them into ebooks. Okay, now I know that might sound a little bit amateurish kind of deal. Okay, but what you're going to do is you're going to take those into ebooks. Okay, those ebooks are actually big sellers, because what we're not taking like a formula. Okay, a lot of people right now, what they do with these ebooks is they take and please do not do this. They take these quote unquote wonder formulas. Okay, that are formula that'll get you making $10,000 a day, and they turn it into an ebook, free ebook that says how to make $10,000 a day, and the formula is like buy my product and read this book. You know what I'm saying? Or it's, this plus this equals this, and that's your $10,000, a month. That right there, my friend, is boo-boo. Do not become a part of that crowd that does that. What we're telling you to do is to be authentic, to be true, be sincere, and let your audience know where you come from. Okay, because there's going to be the right people. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So by you creating this story, by you putting it in ebook format, by us together to put it out there into the group of people who are actually like you, who think like you, work like you, breathe like you, right? Those are going to be the people that resonate with you, and those are going to be the people that end up purchasing your product. So this is a great way for new people to build that momentum in their business, because so many people, when they get into the industry, they feel like, how do I get this ball going? How do I get this momentum going? And this is how. This is exactly how. You're going to end up taking your story, okay? Because what we learned, okay, get this. There was these two of our mentors, okay? Now they look like hippie stoner kind of people, okay? But they're not really stoners. They're not hippies, really. They're just, well, I guess you could say they're hippies, but they're super like energy evolved people, okay? Now they love the universe. They love how things operate. Now, those people have been considered to be some of the weirdest people by the world. If you take a look at what their interests are, and you look at the way society works, you would look at them and say, okay, well, there's no way that they could ever make money in this industry because nobody would resonate with them. That's what you would say. One of them just told us last weekend that he was in a, oh no, that was another one. Okay, so, but yeah, there's so many of these weird people, okay, that quote unquote weird people, right, that have no followings, that have no way to resonate with the world. But yet these folks earned over $250,000 in 26 months. Talking specifically to the people who share their exact interests. Now, if you think that you have anything less than that, you're out of your mind. I'm telling you right now that you have exactly at least what they have. You have at least a market share of people who are gonna give you that. Now, no income guarantees right here. I'm just letting you know what's available. We're digging into our passions right now, our interests, and we're finding out that there's a ton of money out there right now in the market of people who have our interests, that want to be a part of what we have, that want to buy our service or our product, and that are willing to listen to our message because we're resonating with them. We share common bonds that are going to allow them to put down their wall and say, man, I could relate to that. This man's doing exactly what I want to do. You know what I mean? That's why the story is so powerful. So when you end up doing this, you end up creating free ebooks, you end up creating free reports, you end up putting it on your blog, okay? And if you don't have a blog, make sure to get a hold of us. I'm not sure if it's, we have a link right over here, either beneath us or to the right or somewhere around here that says work with us directly. You're gonna be able to get access to your blog, okay? Which is where you're gonna be able to put your story on mainly. This is gonna be a spot that you could promote endlessly, and that will never die. It will always be alive on your on your blog, which means that whenever somebody, if you do what we tell you, whenever somebody searches for you, whenever somebody searches for that business or whatever you're in, whatever you optimize it for, you're going to be found and people are going to be able to see your story. That's powerful stuff. You know what I mean? And then also being able to turn it into, being able to just market it with Facebook ads efficiently, with our strategies and the things that we can teach you, being able to market it on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, all these things are going to help you get your story out there and get a following of people fast. So if you aren't utilizing this strategy, you're missing out. If you're new to this business and you're thinking, how do I get this snowball effect going? How do I get this momentum? I see these other people doing great. All I need is the first 100 leads. This is going to get you there. Okay, this is going to get you there. So mind you, okay, well, I hope, what are we going at right now? Yeah, so like I said, 40,000. Okay, so one $40,000 ad got created by this exact strategy. Okay, a $40,000 ad. Now, no income guaranteed right here, but our man Chris, who was the leader of the pact out there this last weekend out in Colorado, he seriously taught us some amazing things, exactly what he was doing to create this. Now, he's done a bunch of money in this industry. That's not like his one big thing that he's done, but that was just one thing that stood out. And the reason that it stood out was because that was his revelation. That was when he realized that, okay, this story that I made, that I have, my story is what is creating this to be so powerful. I've created ads before that have never generated this much money, and this is what I needed. Ever since that moment, he has used this same strategy and this formula, and he has generated a ton of money. No income's, again, guaranteed. But me and Sarah are utilizing the same strategy, and it's helping our business, and it's growing our business every single day. Okay, so that's why we're in front of you right now, is because we wanted to offer this to you, not only to work with us directly, but to also get your hands on the product that is not going to be around forever. This is something that could go up in price at any minute. Who knows how this man works, okay? And as well as who knows how long me and Sarah are going to be able to be here and work with you hands-on. That's why we're offering this hands-on, one-on-one coaching to not only work with us directly, but to see exactly how to maximize this product of the Epic Story Funnel for the first 5 people who find value in what we just discussed. Okay, so mind you, that's what we have for you today. I hope that you all found value in it. Learn to tell your story in a compelling way that's going to inspire others and persuade them to do what you want them to do. Okay, that's the #1 way to breaking through to that next level. I hope you guys found extreme amount of value today. Make sure to come back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we will see you there. Enjoy your day, guys. Take care.